YouTube and welcome back to the channel. Now, completely different video from me today. I want to talk about water clarity. So your tanks should look like this. So this is a 6 foot tank I've got here. It's 6 by 2.5 by 2, so it's around about 800-900 litres roughly. With the canister, it's probably 1,000 litres ish. So look how clear the water is here. Look, you can literally see my hand coming through here and you can see my head as well. So this tank is actually due a water change as well, funny enough, and there is a huge bit of wood in here as well. The tank isn't massively overstocked, don't get me wrong, it has been in the past, but I want to give you some simple tips to keep your water looking like this. And I'll actually show you all my tanks now as well. So obviously I haven't set this one up yet. I've actually halfway through filming a video setting this one up, but we'll come back to that shortly on another video. But this is a 6 foot tank, and then we've got another tank here. So like I said, this is my 6 foot tank. You can literally see through there. Obviously there's a little bit of tannins in the water from the wood, but it's been like 6 days now since I've done a water change on this tank. And then I've got a 3 foot tank which is here. This is due a water change as well. You can see absolutely everything in here. This is gin clear as well, like all my tanks. And I may as well show you the house tanks as well, so let's go out to them. So this is obviously my 10 foot tank in the house, and this is my 4 foot tank in the house as well. So look how crystal clear this water is in this tank as well. And I'm going to say as well, I don't run any chemicals in these tanks, but this is just like basically a preview of me showing you what my tanks look like before I explain how you can get your tanks looking like this. And this is also the 10 foot tank, which is really hard for me to film right now. I'm sort of in this alcove, but yeah, that's 10 foot of water there, and there are a few fish in here. I did a big feed last night as well, and yeah, the water basically looks like this. And this tank's got a huge bit of bogwood in here as well, which is obviously leaching tannins into the water. But let's go back out into the fish room and I'll explain how you can get your tanks looking like this. So first of all, guys, I want to keep this short and sweet, this video, because I know it's like on YouTube, sometimes you just want to get straight to the point and find out what it is to make your tanks look like this. So the first thing I will say to you is make sure the glass is clean. You know, go around with your flipper. I've got a flipper magnet on this tank here. Go around, clean all the glass, because sometimes it does give an optical illusion. It makes your tank look dirty, especially with your lids on top, with your light. See, I've got a light sitting on the top of this tank here, and once that's shining down and the lids say you've got algae growing on it, it will make your tank look green and dirty. So make sure your lids are clean. That is a massive thing. Next thing I will say is a huge thing as well. They're all huge things really, so add all these things up together and it makes a massive difference. So, food. So make sure you're feeding good food. Don't be feeding any rubbish food to your fish. So I've got Empty Lab stuff here, I've got Hikari stuff here, Vitalis stuff here. It's all great food, you know. I don't go and buy the cheapest food. There are a lot of cheap alternatives out there, but you will find sometimes your fish won't like it and it will lay about in your tank, and it can make your tank water cloudy as well, because obviously there's a lot of rubbish in some of the foods. While we're talking about foods as well, I will say don't ever overfeed your fish. So once the food's gone in the tank, it should be gone 3 to 4 minutes max, if that, you know, 2 minutes max, you know. If there's still food floating on the top after about 3 or 4 minutes, you're way overfeeding, or your fish aren't hungry, or they don't like the food. As you know, some of my tanks have got bottom feeders, middle dwellers, top dwellers and stuff, so I've got loads of different sort of moving fish which will feed and clean things up, if that makes sense. I've got plecos, loaches, cichlids, stingrays, arrowwiners, there's all sorts, birches in this tank here, so there's all sorts of different fish that go around cleaning up the tank and doing their job for me. Plecos are a must as well. This tank I've got here, this 3 foot tank, to be honest with you, I've never ever cleaned the glass on it since it's been set up. It's been set up probably about, I'd say 7 months now. There's Bushnose plecos in there, and they go around just literally cleaning everything. They do a massive job, so that's another thing. Water changes. So water changes is a must, and a routine. You should have a really good routine. So when you're doing your weekly maintenance or your 2 week maintenance, I always say do it weekly. So every tank of mine gets a 50% water change. That's it, that's all you need to do. Or a 60%. It all depends on how stocked your tank is as well. If your tank's overstocked, so you can actually do a 20% water change in the week as well, which will help your ammonia, nitrates and stuff like that. This arrowwine is absolutely beautiful. I love this fish, but it's so aggressive. Another thing is your filtration. So make sure your filtration's up to scratch. You know, I've seen a lot of people with a tank like this and they think, oh, I'm going to put an FX6 on it, just one, because on the box it says 1,500 litres this tank, this filter will do. It won't. So it's all about flow. So in this tank here, I've got obviously 2 inlets which suck the dirty water up. I've got 2 outlets which blow it in here, and I've got air stones either side, so that's perfect on this tank here. You could actually put a wave pump on it if you really wanted to. With this tank here, I will definitely be putting a wave pump on it because it's an 8-foot tank and it's absolutely massive. My 10-foot tank out there is it does have 2 MP40s either side, which help just blow all the poo around and get it into the filters. So that's a massive thing. So water movement in tanks, that's a must. On your smaller tanks, not as much, because obviously you don't want your fish getting blown around and stuff, and it all depends what fish you're keeping. The fish I've got in these tanks here like a bit of flow. Some fish don't. Discus don't like flow. So all depends what fish you're keeping. Now, as some of you guys know, I don't run any chemical filtration in any of my tanks. I used to, don't get me wrong, I used to run carbon. Now, carbon will help clarity in the water, but I particularly don't like it. I have found in the past, I don't know if it did, but it made a big difference when I took it out. I had 2 Oscars, they got a hole in the head, took the carbon out. Within 3 weeks, the hole in the head was gone, but the scarring is still there. But I don't run any chemical filtration. All my tanks, basically, I'm going to come back to this sump on another video, but I've done a wicked sump setup on this, but we'll come back to that. All my tanks basically run sponges first, biological, sponges first, and then they go into a filter wall, or a filter floss, whatever you want to call it. And then they go into the biological, so alpha grog, ceramic rings, whatever you're running, Biohome. Now this is the best stuff for water clarity. Honestly guys, you don't have to go out and buy a JBL one. I just buy this because it's on my Amazon thing. You can go and get cheaper versions. They actually do this big matting stuff you can get on Amazon. My mate's actually just sent me a link to it, so I will be trying that as well. But honestly, this will literally fine tune anyone's tanks. You can load this sump up here. I'm not going to show it because obviously I want to show this in another video. This sump is loaded up with this stuff. And it's so easy to clean. You just literally pull it out your sump. You can even go and clean it if you want, but I don't. I just throw it in the bin, put a new load in, job done, no messing about. Your water's back to gin clear, you haven't got to mess around with all your cleaning this, cleaning that, you know, it's the best stuff. So, like I said earlier, they do loads of different types of it, but this stuff's quite fine, so you can just tear it to bits, look, tear it like this. So you can even run it in internal filters, you can run it in your external filters, you can run it in hang on the back filters, you can run it in your sumps. Honestly guys, if you're not running this stuff, you need to get onto it. This is the most important thing I've run on any of my tanks, and I will swear to everyone, this is the road to success, and obviously your water changes and things like that. But I hope this video has helped guys, because I do get a lot of people asking me, how do you keep your tanks so crystal clear? To be honest with you, this is 50% of the reason why my tanks look so clear, and obviously my maintenance schedule. But anyway guys, I'm going to end the video there. I hope you enjoyed the video. A little bit different from me today, because obviously I've been really busy going around filming people's tanks and stuff, and I haven't actually had enough time to film any of my other tanks. So, but we will be getting onto this tank soon. Like I said earlier, I'm halfway through filming a video of this. All I've got to do now, everything's plumbed in, all the pumps in, everything. I've just got to put water in it, but it's just getting the time to do it. I'm obviously working late and stuff like that. But yeah guys, thanks so much for watching. As always, like and subscribe my channel, ding notification bell, and yeah, keep it real everyone.